Hi everybody, Kat here. Good morning. I've got some royal updates for you. It's been quite a time the last little while with Bowers' book, Revenge, hitting the airwaves. The book is published. I'm in Canada here. Don't have the book. Don't have access to it yet. And but what I've been doing is following along on a couple of channels on YouTube that have been narrating through the book and adding their own commentary, and it is quite a book. It's quite a read. For those of us that have known about Meghan and Harry and their antics and their tactics for a long time, it confirms a lot of what we already speculated. Tom Bower um, shows his opinion in the way he's written things. I believe, and I think he said that he knows a lot more that he could put in the book, but he's very judicious in his writing. Apparently, in the past, he's been sued many, many times and never lost. He doesn't put anything in the book that he can't personally verify or that there would be no legal wrangling about. So he's very cautious about that. But it's very telling. It's very compelling. I'd recommend it. Like I said, I'm following along on YouTube. That's a great resource. There's some great people out there covering the book. Now, I know it's released in Britain and the United States now. So far, not in Canada, which is where I'm from. I've heard a rumor that it's been banned in Canada, but I don't know. I haven't been able to verify that, and I kind of wonder about the veracity of something like that. I don't think that Meghan has the power or the clout or the connections to get a book banned in Canada. I might be wrong, who knows, her lawyers, but I kind of doubt it. And as far as the royal family, which they have suppressed books in Britain and things like that, and it wouldn't be the first time, but I think it would be counterproductive really for them to ban the book because they've been going through a lot and they probably know, especially now after the investigation on the bullying and things like that. I'm sure they know all about Meghan, and having the book published without them having to come out and say anything would be a great sort of passive move on their part. They don't have to do anything or say anything, and but the truth gets out. So I can't see the royal family or the palace banning the book in Canada. So let's wait and see on that. I'm not sure. I don't know yet. I haven't been able to verify it. But in the meantime, if you're in Canada and you're interested in getting the book, it's not even available on Amazon.ca yet. But hang on, I've got it written down here. There is a site online called bookdepository.com, and I'm not sure where they're from, but they ship worldwide for free, and the book is available on that site, and it's $37.97 Canadian. If you're interested, you can go to bookdepository.com, and they say it takes about 2 weeks for delivery. So, that's an option too if you're interested in getting the book. It's I would recommend reading the book, following along online. It's full of information. It's very well written, some really good insights, and for those of us that know what's kind of going on, it reaffirms everything that we've been saying. And for those that really haven't been following along, really don't know about Meghan and the antics and all of these things, it would be a real eye opener. They'd really get to the truth of the matter and see what her and Harry are all about, and may change their opinion. you know? Maybe they are on the other side of the fence. Maybe they're neutral. Maybe they don't care, never gave it a moment's thought. But it would be worthwhile to read it, find out what's really going on. So, enough about the book. Everybody's covering it. We know how we can get it if we want to. And highly recommended, by the way, from what I've heard so far. Now, more royal updates. A little while back, for not the first time, Charles was found out giving money to relatives of Osama bin Laden. Now, granted, don't blame the kids for the sins of the father and that kind of a thing, but everybody knows the bin Ladens are a very, very rich family in industry and real estate. They've got a lot of money. Now, Charles supposedly accepted a donation of over $1 million to his foundation, and we know how that works. Like the last one, the bags of money, grocery bags of millions of dollars in, in return for favors like granting visas to people that otherwise may have trouble getting them, honors such as, OBE, MBE, those kind of things that the Queen gives out to people, that kind of influence. And Charles has been doing this for years, just because only a couple of these situations have come out recently. It's not the first time he's done it. And it probably hasn't been the last. I mean, these allegations go back to like 2013 or something with the bin Laden family, and it's coming out now. And I'm sure that since then, there's been lots of other occasions that these kind of things happen. He accepts wealthy donations from these very rich people, funnels them into his foundation slash business model, and things like Dumfries House. He had all his rich donors put forth the money so he could buy it, put forth the money so he can renovate it. And now, I mean, he stays there. It's not like it's a public house. He's, as a museum, I mean, yeah, they give tours and stuff, but it's one of his principal houses. So he's basically accepting money from some sketchy, wealthy donors to finance his lifestyle. Not that much different than what Andrew has done with all of his shady dealings and money grafting. It's just that Andrew's a little more transparent and a lot less savvy than Charles's people around him. But it really amounts to the same thing. And as it turns out, with all of this, the Met Police or, MI5 or whoever would investigate something like this has decided that they're not going to investigate these shady donations to Charles's foundation, with the comment just, oh, he had an error in judgment. Poor guy, he just wasn't thinking. It's ridiculous, but this is how things are handled when you're of that stature. They'll never call him out, really, for these kinds of things. Just like the Black Spider memos, all of those for decades. Charles has been soliciting members of parliament and government leaders and business leaders, putting forth his opinion and trying to exert influence on the decisions they make regarding different policy and this and that. And that is something strictly in a constitutional monarchy that Charles should not be doing. He's not to be peddling influence to the government. But you know, I mean, it came out. Everybody knows about it now. Everybody knows that he's been doing that for years, and it's just, oh well, you know. Oh gee, that's not good for a future king. But he's never been censored about it. He's never been taken to task or nothing's ever been said really to stop him doing it. I'm sure he's still doing it to this day. Well, in fact, I mean, it's very obvious what he's doing, with his climate change agenda and all of that. So, same thing. He can skate along, and nothing will get done. But it is coming out, and it's kind of interesting that it's coming out. And like I've said before in previous videos, um, who's leaking this stuff? Maybe a disgruntled palace planner? Maybe somebody that would prefer that Charles not become king, trying to muddy the waters and disparage his reputation a little bit? Could be. I personally think there's a power play going on within the palace, and I've said this before, and I think William somehow is behind this to disparage his father and get him out of the way, like do things to damage his reputation. I think William is that cagey. I think he's that ambitious. I really think it's William behind this. We may never know, but that's just my opinion. And William's made some other moves recently too. Him and Kate have moved on to the Windsor estate to be closer to the action, closer to the Queen, and I think that's very telling. And another interesting tidbit popped up this week too, related to that, I think. Poor, financially beset Fergie, who's been living off Andrew the whole time. They share Royal Lodge on the Windsor estate. Well, turns out here this week, she's just bought a $6 million mansion, townhouse kind of mansion in, I think, Mayfair. Anyway, one of the real splashy neighborhoods of London, one of the high-end addresses. Bought a house. Where the heck did she get the money to buy a house? And it's very interesting timing. We all know that Andrew's been sidelined, and both Charles and William don't want him to have any kind of public role whatsoever, and didn't really like the influence he had over the Queen. So to move him out of the immediate vicinity of the Queen, I think, would be to their advantage. $6 million to permanently sideline Andrew, they probably think it's a bargain at twice the price. We know that with Andrew's having to pay Virginia Dufresne's damages, he's still trying to settle the sale of the chalet in Verbier, and that's a few $1,000,000. So, I mean, the Queen has helped him out financially, we know, and it's said that Charles has helped him out financially too, to try to sort all of these things out. And I wouldn't be surprised if Charles or William or the Crown, however the entity, wherever the money's coming from, really the same place, that they put up the money to get Fergie that house, to get them away from Windsor. It'd be worth it to them, I think. Yeah, I really think that Andrew's being pushed out of the loop completely. And after this, may not have, the access to the queen. If he's not right there, he's not 5 minutes away. He can't just kind of drop in and see the queen every day. He's got to go through the palace and make the phone calls and that kind of thing. So it's really going to sideline Andrew, and I think that's what's behind Fergie buying this house and this whole story. We'll have to see how it turns out, but that's just my opinion. And oh, it was Megan's birthday yesterday, I believe, and People magazine didn't have her on the cover. They had Kate on the cover. That's got to burn her. I think that's fabulous. That's instant karma. Megan must be fuming. And with this book coming, out now, I'd like to be a fly on the wall in their house. That's going to be not too pleasant at the moment. We'll have to see what Megan does, because no doubt she's going to have to react at some point here. So, yeah, all very interesting. Williams exerting a power play. Andrew's going to be kicked further out of the loop. And Charles just keeps on keeping on. Taking money here, taking money there. Handing out favors here, handing out favors there. And it's all good. It's all good. Every now and again he has a lapse in judgment, but haven't we all? Like, who'd ever thunk that accepting a couple $1,000,000, bundles of bills in grocery bags from a shady businessman might not be a good idea? But, we've all had errors in judgment, so we'll just let that one pass on Charles. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll see you next week.